Okay, we are live.
We are live. Hey, you guys, welcome to A Walt's Fault. We are just going to try to hip you to what is going on and the newest update about crowd management at the Galaxy's Edge Star Wars land at Disneyland. The one in Florida isn't going to have this trouble. They're not predicting this trouble anyways there. They're really predicting some record crowds at the Galaxy's Edge. So I'm Art T. Bear, and this is Taylor Grosso.
Hello, I'll be reading the chat today. If you guys want to join the conversation, maybe you know something we don't. Let us know about your inside look about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, so initially I think Taylor and I were like, there's no way. Being native Californians, we're like, we're not going to... One, we kind of have a rule we don't go to Disneyland in the summer because the crowds are always really bad. But now this summer with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, it's going to be insane. It's going to be absolutely insane. So I think they're going to open up a little early. May 31st, I think, they're going to open the new park section. And it's only going to have... Is Smuggler's Run, that's the only one, the ride that's going to be open, right?
Yeah, that's the only one, at least for the first month. And 31st is the date, at least for the California location. Art is right. In the last video, Art, you and I seem very gung-ho about going in the early attendance. What do you think now?
God, I loved your optimism that you had because you're like, yeah, let's do it. And so we started looking into it. A couple new articles have come up and are talking about the details of it. And I just don't know. So we thought we would talk about it a little bit. Anybody in the chat, like Taylor said, if you have any ideas or insight that we don't, feel free. So this is the actual legit Disney site, right? Disneyland Park site.
This just got updated, and this is the thing that kind of had everybody all at Twitter. So this just showed up on the Disneyland website. So how do I make a reservation to visit Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Resort?
Oh, should we back up? We should tell them that one of the things they announced is that they're going to start taking reservations.
Which I think a lot of people suspected from the get-go. They just didn't know quite how it was going to be done. So yeah, Disney announced that they are going to be taking reservations for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and it will be the only way you can get in the park for the first month.
Or so, yeah.
So to visit Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Park between May 31st, 2019 and June 23rd, 2019, guests need a valid theme park admission and will be required to make a no-cost reservation, subject to availability, to access the land.
It says no cost, but you have to buy a theme park ticket.
Yeah, so I would argue that it is at a cost. And I'm assuming you have to have the ticket before you're able to get that reservation, right? You're not going to be able to get a reservation and then buy a ticket.
Yeah, it doesn't really say, but I imagine so.
Because at first I was thinking like, oh, that's cool. We could get like the free reservation, and if we get it, we buy the ticket. But it sounds like you have to probably
have a ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's first come, first serve. Guests staying at one of the 3 Disneyland Resort hotels during these dates will receive a designated reservation to access Star Wars Galaxy's Edge during their stay. 1 reservation per registered guest. Valid theme park admission is required. Information on how to make a reservation and details about reservations will be available at a later date. Capacity is limited. Admission to Disneyland Park, including Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and its experiences, may be restricted or unavailable depending on guest demand and other factors. Please continue to check the Disney Parks blog for the latest information.
Okay, where did you see first come, first serve? Because I didn't see that.
Oh, I just said that myself.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to paraphrase that they were saying subject to availability.
Yeah. Because sometimes, like, do they do, like, these lotteries, too? Like, they just throw everybody's name into a lottery, and then they pull, like, names or numbers out.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's not first come, first. It could be, like, a lottery situation where it's just the luck of the draw.
Yeah, but this doesn't even say from what date to what date you have to purchase the tickets, or does it?
It just says that in order to visit it between those dates, but it doesn't say... They haven't released a time or a date yet in which you get your reservation. Because I'm thinking the reservations probably are going to be all throughout that date, so people will get them way in advance. I'm thinking.
I agree. Yeah. This is so far looking like like San Diego Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, I thought it was cool at first because they got me with the like, oh, no cost, and now I think reality is starting to sink in a little bit. So
because if you're right, then it would be as soon as they go on sale, it would be first come first serve, and then they would probably sell out, right? Because the
that's
whole point is they're trying to control admittance, right? So they're trying to control how many people go in the park. So they must already have like, this is capacity, right? This is the amount of people for capacity. So then every day they would just allot that many, you think, advanced tickets to be sold?
Probably, and they didn't say how many are going to be allotted a day, but I'm sure they do have a set amount.
Right. So then once that's maxed out, then they go, okay. Because somehow it has to be a lottery system, because unless you gave them an actual day you wanted to be there, right? So they would probably have to be something like, well, on this day, on June whatever, this is where your reservations are.
That's what yeah, probably.
Or whatever day they would tell you. They would probably dictate to you what days are available.
And it must be at the time of you buying your ticket. Like you're buying a ticket, so you're committing to it with money.
For that window of time.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't know what the actual date would be, because they're probably not going to say, oh, what day do you want to go, right?
I doubt they'll give you the option.
Because the only thing is, we're
getting a little speculative, but
yeah, but I'm probably also moving this a little forward, because we did read these prior, and they said anybody that has reservations at the hotel will automatically be included. So you know what, they'll get 1 day's admittance per person. So I think the reason they're doing that is because then you can have a certain date allocated. You know what I mean, for your trip into the park.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, I guess, in a lot of ways. I just don't know how it's going to play out completely. It's starting to sound like you said, like a San Diego Comic-Con type situation right now.
Yeah, it's pretty vague, you guys, but we'll do the best we can. We'll give you the most update information we have here.
One of the things that they announced, is that for your vacation planning purposes, please be aware that Disney Fast Pass service, including access via Disney Max Pass and Disney Fast Pass Plus services, will not be offered at Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. We will continually evaluate our operations and services in order to help provide you with a great guest experience. So, if we didn't say it already, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run will be open at that time, but the Rise of the Resistance will not be open in the initial first month.
Yeah.
So, and you cannot get a Fast Pass to the Millennium Falcon ride. At least at first, it sounds like.
Well, I also think that not having the other attraction open, the dark ride, is going to have a problem with traffic as well, because that queue is really long, and the ride, from what I understand, is pretty long. So if you were, you're trying to get people off the foot traffic, you want to get them kind of in these other zones,
yeah,
just so it doesn't become as congested. If you have a whole dark ride that isn't functioning, it seems like it's going to back up, the traffic even
quite a
more
bit,
so.
Yeah. Llama Gigante says, ugh, you could not pay me to go. Way too many people.
Yeah.
And he also says, Art, I know this isn't the Kiss show, but you should really look up Rock and Roll Until a Reasonable Hour on YouTube after the show. It's so good.
Oh, I'll check that out. Thank you.
One of the other things that they announced is, let's see what they say here about the Extra Magic Hour, which I didn't even know was a thing. Because we anticipate galactic excitement during the opening months of this year, we are planning ahead to deliver the best possible experience for our guests. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be open during normal park operating hours. It'll not be included in the Extra Magic Hour or the Morning Magic Hour at Disneyland Park. It'll be available during the Extra Magic Hour at Disneyland's Hollywood Studios only.
You know what that is, right?
Is that the early morning stuff?
Yeah, they usually have those for like the hotel. Like if you have a hotel reservation, you can get the early morning hours and things like that.
Okay, I understand.
So they're saying that it's excluded from that, right?
Yeah, so it's excluded from that. And like you said, the last thing, I think what they were saying was you can, if you have a reservation at the hotel, you'll have access to the park.
Yeah, they're saying that one per person.
Per guest.
Per guest, yeah.
So it says, if you're looking to book a vacation to Disneyland Resort, you should also note that vacation packages, park tickets, and Disneyland Resort hotels do not guarantee access to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I think it's because of capacity, though. The land, including participation, including participation and its experience, will be subject to capacity restraints. Okay, so basically if you go at the hotels, you can get in, but it depends on the capacity.
Well, probably because they're more of a rogue factor, right? Because they're not part of that lottery advance tickets. So they're they can get in theory anytime they want.
Yeah.
So they're not part of that system. But, so what they're saying is that if that park is backed up, then you can't get in, right? That's kind of what they're saying.
Like, yeah.
So in theory, you have access to it, but if it's at capacity, you can't get in.
I mean, that makes sense, as with anything.
And usually, if you're going to stay there in the hotel, you probably have more than one day there. So then you have several attempts to get into Galaxy's Edge versus, you know what I mean, if you just buy tickets for that one day.
Which makes sense. I mean, I don't know how expensive it is to stay at the hotel. I imagine it's very costly.
$300, $350 a night. Basic.
Just to get access to that. So we found this article and it was pretty good. And this is about, it talks about crowd levels. Because like Art said earlier, one of the things that we've been discussing since the beginning is how they were planning on handling the crowds and the wait lines. So, let's see. Disney is using a reservation system to restrict Galaxy's access at Disneyland for the first month the new land is open. As of today, there are no plans to restrict crowds at Galaxy's Edge and Disneyland Hollywood Studios when the land opens. Here's the thing, though. Like we said, if they're doing the allotted reservations, they could possibly restrict it that way, right? If, like you said, if there's only a certain amount available per
Well, why else
day.
would they do it? It doesn't. If it is just going to be open to everybody that goes in there and there's no restrictions,
why do reservations?
Then why would you do reservations? Because the reason they want reservations is they're going to cut people off.
Yeah. So that's probably a big factor of how they're going to do this. Let's see. If DHS Galaxy's Edge opens without restrictions, we expect crowds to be a 10 out of a 1 to 10 scale.
Yeah.
It's likely the land will reach capacity on many days this year too. Well, yeah. If Disney,
I say in the summer months, it will reach capacity every day.
Oh yeah, there's not going to be a moment where it's like, oh look, we're just going to walk through here. Further, if Disneyland does not control the number of people queuing for Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, its wait times could reach record levels. Our current record for highest posted wait time is 450 minutes, and that was for Harry Potter and the Escape Ride.
What is that? It's okay. 1660 is 120, right?
Okay.
So then 120 and 120 is 440.
So
that's
4 hours?
That's over 4 hours.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, it's not worth it.
That's 4 hours and 10 minutes to get on a ride.
4 hours out of your day standing in a line.
If you have 8 hours in the park, half your park time is waiting in line for Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I think we have our answer. We're not going this summer. Right? That's nuts.
Unless an inside source helps us angelically.
Please, somebody.
The crowd levels on the crowd calendars are for the non-Galaxy's Edge area. We expect attendance to be higher at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. The new land will have an impact on crowds at all parks. And then this is the part that was interesting. This is speculation, but I think this has been speculation for a while amongst pretty much every reputable person. And this person says, my personal guess is that Disney will run Galaxy's Edge similar to how it ran previous for Pandora, the world of Avatar. Groups of people will be allowed entrance to Galaxy's Edge for a set time and allowed to ride Smuggler's Run once. They could hand out wristbands at the park's entrance that grants access to the land at a specific time. How Disneyland handles crowds will affect the wait times at all rides. It is a free-for-all, and people will have to wait in line to get into Galaxy's Edge. Wait times could go down at other attractions if people are allowed to reserve an entry time. Guests could go to other attractions while waiting to enter Galaxy's Edge. But that's not going to happen because they already said there's not going to be fast passes there.
Right. But we predicted the wristband idea and the time restrictions in the park from the first time we started reporting this. So it sounds like that's exactly what they're going to do. So do you think the wristbands are going to be kind of like when you go into a bar and like you want to drink, like if it's an underage bar?
I think so.
Where like, oh, you prove that you're over 21, then they give you a certain color wristband, so then you can drink. So they'll probably do something similar, right?
The only thing that's weird about it, and like you mentioned earlier that they might possibly do like an app thing on your phone, the wristbands are going to cost them money to produce.
Well, no more than a nightclub. It'll probably just be those little...
like a paper, like a plastic.
Yeah, little paper plastic thing. And it'll probably be a color. So, like, if they give you 3 windows of opportunity, well, I'm sorry, 3-hour window of opportunity, then you'll have, like, say, a green wristband. So from, like, I don't know, 5 to 8 o'clock, 5 in the evening to 8 o'clock at night, you have 3 hours. So then you have the green wristband. And then, but this is the problem. Then what? Are they going to kick everybody out that has a green wristband? You know what I mean? At that point, so how do you rally everybody, kick them out of a 14-acre park, and then make way for the blue wristband that has the next 3 hours?
And are all the shops and stuff going to be open? Because are you going to go in and like try to find people eating and buying stuff and be like, okay, your time is almost up. Finish up your meal.
I just ate. I just ordered this food. Yeah, yeah. That's going to get weird. Like, how do you enforce that? It's gonna be odd. And also, just as far as a traffic flow, I don't know. This is gonna be a cluster F, you guys.
This sounds more and more.
I really appreciated your optimism last episode, Taylor. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna get our reservations, and we'll do this, and we'll do a live broadcast from
It could still happen.
Yeah, we're not saying it's not, but based on this information, this sounds like it's gonna be complete lunacy. Because also, this is how, okay, you've been to San Diego since it's been in Zanesville, right?
Yes.
Since the Hollywood invasion.
Never before. Like, I never saw the calm days.
All right. So, you've seen outside they start these lines for these, what is it, Hall H, right?
Yes.
So, at any particular time at San Diego Comic-Con, there is a huge line outside to get into Hall H, depending on whatever the show is. But every time I've ever gone outside around that Hall H area, it's always packed. There's always a line. And it's just a weaving, turning line that goes all the way from the building out to the street and sometimes beyond. So, and that's just anticipation to get in. That's not a guarantee that all those people are even going to get in, right?
And that's why I always think, like, why is the line? Because the line continues growing. It's
right.
Like, how big do you think this place is?
Yeah, like they should have cutoffs or whatever. But just think about this, okay? They're worried about crowds. If you have a pink wristband, okay, and the green wristband is in act, right? But you're like, let's say, I don't know, a half hour, 45 minutes away from your admittance, right, to the park.
No.
You're going to start lining up, right? Because it's human nature,
yeah,
right?
Of course.
So they're going to wait for the green wristband to get kicked out, and so you're the pink one, and then you're going to go at this time, right? Well, they're going to create a line that's going to go back all the way around, like Rivers of America and all the way, you know what I mean? Like,
and they'll all have the same idea, because like you said, like, let's just say pink wristband starts at 1. They're going to start lining up at 12. And then the people with the green wristband who go in at 3 are going to see them lined up and think, I want to get in line, so I'm the first one of the green group in there. And then they're going to line up. Like, it's just going to keep feeding on itself.
It's going to be insane. Like it's one thing, oh, we're just going to hand out wristbands. But how are you going to enforce it? Because people are people, right? They're gonna want to get into this thing. So, and you know what? Okay, let's just back up. We're all kind of... We're geeks, right? we're on that level, right? So we're kind of used to being at cons, waiting in lines for things that we want, and like waiting in line for our favorite artist's signature. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of already groomed to this kind of thing. So, fans of Star Wars, Star Wars Celebration, the lunacy there,
oh my gosh,
they're gonna line up like you said, they're going to line up an hour to 2 hours before that.
Yeah, they'll be there.
There were people at the Phantom Menace, Taylor. You're a little younger than I. There were people camping out the night before to get into the theater. When we went, because the Hack Shack Studios went, right? So we got our tickets in advance. So we had one guy go out and hold all of our lines. But by the time we got there, because we had deadlines and stuff, so we got there maybe an hour before they started letting people in. There were what are they, those pop-up tents? What are those things called? Pop-ups? And they had like people that were there like the night before and stuff. They had bedding and like little tents and stuff. It was crazy. They had lunches. They had water cool. One of those igloo things. And I was like, this is nothing, right? Disney created. Somebody's gonna get killed.
It's gonna be. I don't even know. Like, it's gonna be absolutely insane. Like you said, they're not gonna be able to control people not lining up. Like, there's no way they're gonna be able to keep that area clear. And I was just thinking about this with the wristbands. They're gonna have to like mail them to you in advance or something, because if there's a line to pick up your wristband, you could possibly miss your opportunity, because that line's gonna be insane.
You know what they'll do? Everybody that qualifies for admittance because of the the reservations, they won't send them to you in advance, I bet, because they don't want anybody bootlegging them. What they'll do is when you're waiting in line, they'll just, like you said, first come, first serve. So all like from like 8 o'clock to whatever will get the green. So the first, however many come in the gate, will then get the wristband.
They'll see on your ticket you have the reservation. They'll give you your wristband then. So
right.
That
And then the next window will get theirs, and then so on and so on, because they don't want to give these things in advance, because people would be bootlegging these things. I started thinking, okay, like Disney, the day, what do they call it, Black Sunday or whatever, the first day the Disney park opened, and they called it that because the asphalt was still
wet, right?
And so everybody's walking wet asphalt, so they called it Black Friday or whatever it was.
Funny.
And so Walt Disney did not like that. Could you imagine your whole dream? You hawk your house and everything,
funny.
And then everybody's like, "Oh man, Black Friday." But why that turned into a cluster F? Well, one, a lot of the things didn't work the way they were planned, but I think they had 10,000 bootleggers.
Oh no!
Going in. So there were people that were like, they were falsifying the tickets, and they said there was even a guy that was selling use of his ladder to jump the fence. So there was a farmer, you know how it was like, there were farms all around there? A farmer just had his ladder there, and then there was just he was charging people to climb his ladder.
TJ's grandpa used to climb over into it, he said, in the day.
So this is going to be absolutely nuts. I can't wait for the news.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a circus.
Because there's gonna be a fist fight.
Llama Gigante says, "LOL, there needs to be a 4-hour art in line stream."
You know what? I don't know. If maybe we're doing it for a cause, like a higher cause, right? Then maybe it'll be worth it.
I think we could be entertaining until we start getting really grumpy, being there and it's getting dark.
It's like, wait a minute, the sun's going down, we're still not in the park, and then there's gonna be the panic that sets in. It's like,
are we gonna make it?
Are we even gonna be allowed to go in?
Michael Merritt says every Star Wars fan should want to go. I'm going to wait till they get the glitches worked out.
I think so too, but like we said in the previous one, there's a lot of things, because some of the glitches, when they get those worked out, are also going to mean some of the cool stuff is going to go away.
Yes.
So I think like the Wookiee up on top of, because remember they said that there's going to be Chewbacca.
Yeah, the last video we were reading some of the stuff to expect, and the thing is, a lot of the stuff seems like it's probably not going to be going forever there.
Oh my gosh.
Like Art said, there's going to be Chewbacca on top of the Millennium Falcon, like a costumed person. There's going to be a lot of stuff.
He's going to be repairing things, because I think that's the idea, right? That it's there in Batuu to get repairs and supplies.
Yeah, and that's stuff that I don't see having like a long
and so
yeah,
so the first actor that's inside the Wookiee suit in the middle of summer passes out and falls off the Millennium Falcon. It's gonna shut down. You're not gonna see a Wookiee again. So that's the thing about these openings, is because there's a lot of extras that they do in the first month or two that don't last. They don't stay for months. So that's kind of the reason I really want to go in the opening days of
That's
it.
why I want to go too.
Because also some of the stuff, like we'll see how militant those stormtroopers are. And then they said like each one of the people that work there are all allowed to write their own storylines in character. So could you imagine how many people are going to go off script that first week or two?
I know, and they're going to crack down on that later. You want to get there while they're like still fresh.
You're going to be able to ask them crazy questions. They're going to answer them until Disney realizes like we can't do certain things because people are going to abuse them. Like all the fun stuff is probably going to go away within the first month.
Yeah, it's those glitches that are going to make things really interesting, I think.
Because, like, even remember the Haunted Mansion, like, one of the things is, like, we're going to have live ghosts, right? And then, like, within, like, the first month, those guys are getting punched out and people are having heart attacks and shit.
Like, yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah, no live ghosts anymore. Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, so... Yeah, a lot of that stuff's going to go away the first month because this thing is so interactive and there's so many moving parts to this park because there's a storyline, which most of the parks don't. I think, they said Harry Potter, but it doesn't have a specific storyline. It's based on...
Set in the world.
Yeah, and so even Pandora has kind of a storyline, which is like...
It's weird.
It's something like environmentalists or something,
yeah,
right?
you're a tourist, and there's some company that's done some environmental thing where I guess they're welcoming the Na'vi are welcoming you to the planet. It's like an act of goodwill or something.
And then they're gonna like give you a tour, like they're embracing you into their world or something like that. And then of course the white man will destroy them and start shooting missiles at their tree. My gosh.
Well, I guess they've forgotten all about it because they seem pretty, in the story of Pandora, they seem pretty cool with tourists.
Maybe this was a prequel. Maybe this park is a prequel.
Oh, no. But yeah, Star Wars is going to have a similar... The park is set in... I guess they're going to... The location is going to be in the next movie, that Black Spire outpost.
Yeah.
If you guys watch our video, the last episode of Walt's Fault before this, we gave a full tour of the I've lost my train of thought because there's cookies on the table.
My daughter just brought cookies in and I was poking it with a pin because I don't know what the hell these are.
I know they look Star Warsy.
They look good. They smell good.
They smell lemony, but they look very alien. Anyway.
They look like an alien volcano exploded.
If you watch our last video, we basically give a virtual tour of everything we know about the land now and what to expect and kind of how it fits in story.
Yeah, so check that out. And I guess we should probably start wrapping this up. We just kind of want to let everybody know what's going on and as the new information comes up, because we're edging on to, what is it? They said March 31st.
Yeah.
So not March, May 31st. So we're March, April, May. So we have, 2 or 3 months left to the countdown.
And we've been tracking this thing since... Gosh, it was like dirt when we first started.
Yeah, it pretty much was. There was just some rebar and they had graded it down. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think what we're kind of doing this for is more for ourselves, huh?
I mean, if this culminates into us going to the park and seeing it, it'd be really cool as like a chronicling vlog. But if we don't make it, then yeah. Yeah,
because I'm thinking that this is also us getting hot and cold on the idea. Like it's almost like a dare, right? Do you dare to try to get reservations? Do you dare set yourself up, your hopes, that you're going to get in? And then once you get in, will you make it through? And if so, for how many hours?
Yeah, every video, it seems like we back and forth on whether like, oh, we're going to make it the first run out. We'll suffer through the lines, or like it's not even worth it. We teeter-totter between the two.
Well, I don't know. They're predicting 4 hours and 10 minutes to get on one attraction.
I don't know. And the thing is too, like if you had the choice, if they give you a window, are you even going to try to get on that ride? Or are you just going to try to wander around and enjoy the Galaxy's Edge park as much as possible?
Well, I guess it depends on how long your window is, right?
Because if they give you 3 hours...
You can't even get on that ride.
You're going to spend the whole time standing in line for that ride.
So wait, we did some math here, right?
Yeah, actually.
So the limit of time that they should at least give you is enough time to ride that attraction.
Yes.
But I would say even that's not fair.
No, not really.
Because then it doesn't give you any time to shop or anything else. So it gives you enough time to get to that ride, stand in line, and then get out of the ride, and then get out of
leave,
that,
yeah.
and then go to,
It seems like you're
Splash
going to
Mountain.
you're going to have to choose between whether you want to enjoy maybe seeing the sights, eating the food, going to the shops, or if you want to go on the ride.
Right.
Which, are there only 2 rides there?
So far, yeah.
And one is not going to be accessible.
Yeah. You know what the consolation prize is going to be?
What? Space Mountain?
Star Tours.
Aww. All the kids that can't get into
all those
Galaxy's
parents
Edge.
with their disappointed kids are like, wait a minute, I have one ditch effort to make this right. And then they're going to walk over to Tomorrowland, and that's going to be a 4-hour line too. Because everybody's thinking exactly the same thing.
Oh, man.
Okay, I got a plan of action. Okay, here's the plan of action, you guys. The first thing, once you get your wristband, you head on over to Star Tours.
What?
You get your Fast Pass.
Oh.
Right? So then you wait for your window, and then as a consolation prize,
After.
if you can't get in,
You always have Star Tours.
you always have Star Tours, and you don't have to wait, a billion years to get in there, a billion light years to get in.
Durakin says, consolation prize, Rose Tico. Aww.
What if they have like a Rose Tico like person dressed up with the little flippy do, like the little hair?
She'll be there.
She's like, would you like what were some of the food? Some of the moof juice?
Would you like some moof juice and oh god, I don't remember. They're all weird.
And a Ronto roasted
with, what was the sauce? Portuguese
sauce, which doesn't sound very Star Warsy. Try a Ronto roaster with some moof juice.
She's like, you're not going to get into the park by wanting to get on a ride. You're going to get into the park by wanting to
not get on a ride.
Stand in line.
Your wristband is not valid here. Ooh, what if they have like the stormtroopers, like they're the ones kicking people out of the park when their wristbands change?
Oh.
All right, you got a pink wristband. Get out. Move along.
I want them to snip the wristbands off of you when you have to leave. Like, you don't even get to keep it as a souvenir. They're just like, okay, next.
Because people are going to be bootlegging them.
Just break it off so that, yeah, exactly, so you can't bootleg it.
And also, how many colors are they going to be able to use per day? Because they're going to, like,
There's only so many.
I know, how many colors? Because... how many greens are you going to be able to use before...
They stamp your hand like a county fair.
It'd make more sense if they did stamp your hand.
Do you remember going to like crappy concerts and they stamp your hand and then you go try to press it against your friend's hand to get them in for free?
Oh, yeah. While the ink's still wet.
While it's still wet.
It's some kind of like weird reverse image of the image.
It never looks right.
So if the bouncer's paying attention, they're gonna like, okay, I know what you did here.
That's what they're gonna do.
And then you get the artist one that's like, I'll just draw it in the parking lot. They have like Sharpie and they're like.
That's so bold. I never had the guts to do that.
You never did?
No.
I had a friend that tried.
It didn't work.
No, it looked pretty lame.
It looks even better than the stamp.
Yeah, it looks better than the stamp, exactly.
It's like, this has line weights on it. This is gonna work.
Dude, you gotta smudge that. That looks too good.
But like, if they let you in, let's just say they let you in with a 3-hour window, what's the first place you're gonna go?
Ronto's Roaster. Because I'm gonna be damn hungry after that 4-hour wait just to get into the park.
Oh, you're right. That's the only thing that's gonna keep me going.
I just want to say one thing too. I don't know how. There's gonna be a line, right? There's gonna be a line just to get in, just to wait for your window of opportunity to get in. So if that's the case, there's an actual entrance. There's 2 ways to get in, and I would assume to get out, right? There's a throughway. to the park.
Yeah, that's right.
So, if people are waiting in line, would they be waiting in line at both locations?
Oh, you know what?
And if so, how are they going to get people in and then out? Because there's going to be a crowd. Like, they're going to have people coming out into a crowd.
Unless, yeah, actually, how are they going to do that? Because I was going to say maybe one end is going to be the designated entrance and one end is the designated exit.
That's the only way they can do it.
So that they can funnel you out, I guess? Because it would be impossible otherwise.
Yeah.
Also, which entrance is optimal if they did have both open?
Because that's the worst part about San Diego Comic-Con, is because you have people entering and exiting. You know what I mean? You have, like, there's no one-way avenues.
Yeah,
like,
you can't.
Like, if they wanted to really, really change that place fundamentally, what they could do is just, like, put arrows, like, one-way streets, and then they could do, like, this is a dead-end avenue or whatever. Because the worst part is... And oh god, because this is a pet peeve, you guys. All right.
If you haven't been to San Diego, the crowd is like nothing you've ever seen before.
Amusement parks are a little different because there's a little bit wider area. But how many times have you guys even tried to get into a restaurant or someplace and people don't understand the left and right side rule, right? The reason there are two doors is because one is a door for entering. That's the one on the right. And then the exit door, if you're entering, is the one on the left.
It's because there's tourists who drive on the other side of the road, so they just cram through.
Well, how many tourists are there?
At Disneyland, probably a lot.
A lot.
Not a lot at the convention.
But at San Diego Comic-Con, like, I always try to go, okay, when I go down an aisle, I'll stick to the right primarily.
Yeah.
But then if there's a booth on the left-hand side, I'll just cut straight over. I'll hang out there, and then when I cut back... I'll get back into my right lane, right?
Yeah.
But then inevitably, there's a guy in the right lane that's coming right at you. Why is this? And then they're like, hey man, get out of my way. It's like, no, there's more people going in this direction than you are. You're the anomaly here. You get in the other side. Like,
did I tell you about last time that like little kid / baby pulled my hair out as we walked through? Because like I was trying to stick to the right where everybody was walking, and this person, I guess it was a guy, I think it was him and his wife. I couldn't really see her though. She was pushing the stroller and he was walking with like a little kid on his shoulders, and they were walking like against the traffic for some reason. Like
in a stroller?
Yeah, like they were just going straight down. And as they walked by, the little boy just like grabbed my hair and like ripped a chunk of my hair out.
Oh my gosh.
And the guy didn't even notice. I was like, stop.
Stop. The kid's like, hee hee hee.
Yeah, he totally ripped my hair out.
Man, what a nice guy.
But yeah, they walked us. Everybody kind of just walks against the grain for some reason.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do? You just gave me an idea for San Diego Comic-Con. You know how like trains used to have what they call cow catchers on the front?
What is that?
Okay, what it is when there was a lot of livestock in the early days, when there were farms and stuff, is sometimes there'd be animals that would graze on a railroad track. They would just be on a railroad track. So instead of just smashing somebody's livestock to pieces, they had a point that was on the front of these trains.
Oh, I've seen those.
And what the point was supposed to do, and it probably worked more often than not, it would just push the cow
to one side
out of the way. Yeah.
You're going to bring one of those?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a fake baby in a stroller, and then that baby's going to be all geeked out like in a Spider-Man outfit or something like that, right? And so all I'm going to use the stroller for is just to put my goodies in, right?
It's a doll in a Spider-Man outfit.
Right. But you know how like much crap you can... Because when you're buying stuff, you have to carry it.
Yes.
Right? I'll use the stroller as a way to carry my junk... Right? Well, that didn't sound right. I'm going to use the stroller to carry my baby and my con stuff. And then I'll have a cow catcher on the front.
I just funnel people.
So I can just funnel people out of the way so I don't have to slow down or stop. I'll just kind of nudge them out of the way. Like, meep, meep. And then I'll have like a little kid. Maybe the kid's like, excuse me, mister. I'll have like a little sound bite, like a little chip, like I just played. Excuse me, mister. Oh, isn't that cute? Look at the little Spider-Man. He's nudging me out of the way.
All I could picture is you part in the crowd. You just see like balloons go flying in the air, like as some kid tries to scramble out of the way.
I'm gonna do that.
It's the only way. Maybe we do need a stroller to get through there.
You know, either that or I'm just gonna like get seriously obese or get one of those fat people suits.
Oh, they'll get you in there with
and I'm
nothing.
going to rent one of those rascals.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to put a cow catcher on the front of that. So I'll look like, what's that character in Austin Powers, Fat Bastard?
Oh, you know the effects guy. He can do it.
Yeah, I'll be dressed like Fat Bastard, but it'll be more like a comic book fan. And I'll have my rented rascal, and I'll just be pushing people out of the way. Those things have horns, too.
If you're technically...
You can and then just push people out of the way.
If you're obese, are you technically handicapped?
It doesn't stop them.
Because can't they, like, bring you through... You know, like, sometimes the handicapped people, they'll bring you through, like, the back of the line to get you to the front because they know you can't wait because you have bad joints or something.
Oh, now you're talking about the park. Disney Park.
Yeah, because won't they take you through? So if you're like, I need to get on the Millennium Falcon, then won't they just let you go up? Maybe.
Okay. I got a plan now. I'm gonna get a fat suit for San Diego, and I'm gonna rent a rascal, and then since Disney is a little bit more kid oriented, I'll do the stroller thing.
Both.
Yeah. So I'll use one plan because you don't want to have the same MO because that's how they catch you. I don't want to be a serial whatever that you would call that.
A serial rascal.
A serial fan, false fan. I don't know, but that's my plan.
Let us know what your plan is to get into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge when it opens. But remember, you need to get a reservation, and that's what we're updating you about today.
Yes. So, information, it's a plus. What is it? Oh, I can't even think of the saying. Okay, you guys, so we've been very silly. I think it's because it's dinner time and I got to eat. So, yeah, so there's that, and we'll keep you updated as we find out about the Walt's Vault and the Galaxy's Edge updates.
And always let us know if there's any breaking news that we haven't talked about. We appreciate your tips and stuff. If you hear anything, keep your ear to the ground.
Yeah, if you guys know any way that we can get into this park, one, without paying, and two, get into the Disney's, what is it, the Star Wars land, Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, let us know, and we'll do it.
Yeah, we will, and we're going to keep you posted every step of the way. So join us for the next Walt's Vault, where we'll talk more about what to expect in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Star Wars! All right, you guys, have a good one.